They call them the disappeared. Fathers, sons, husbands, who surrendered at the end of Sri Lanka's civil war and haven't been seen since. The UN says that only in Iraq are there more people who've simply vanished without trace. Today in Jaffna, the police stopped their relatives handing in their photos, their letters, their petitions to the first world leader ever to visit their part of this troubled island. But David Cameron couldn't see them. He claims this visit to a region which once dreamt of forming its own country will shine a spotlight not just on the crimes of the past, but the abuses of the present. There too to greet him, at every stop he made, the same group of pro-government protesters. Their signs in perfect English.
Anybody here speak English? You have English signs?
The answer was that none did. They were supporters of President Rajapaksa, who greeted David Cameron at the start of today's Commonwealth Summit. The leader of Sri Lanka is relishing being at the centre of attention. Whilst the leaders talked, David Cameron visited the main Tamil newspaper in the north. Its presses smashed and burnt. Who did it? One journalist told me, the government, before pleading that I shouldn't show his face. And here's why. On the walls of the newspaper office, pictures of the 6 journalists killed in recent years. Everywhere we went, a reminder of how President Rajapaksa exerts control. A Tamil leader told the Prime Minister there are still 120,000 security forces in this region 4 years after the war ended. This is what the government euphemistically call a welfare centre. To you and me, it's a refugee camp.
14 campsites, and so here there's maybe 100 families, maybe 500-600 people. So 14 campsites, this we think over 100,000 people.
Now a quarter of a century of war is over. It is time, he says, for reconciliation.
The war is over, the terrorism is finished, the fighting is done. Now what's needed is generosity and magnanimity from the Sri Lankan government to bring the country together. And I think coming here, listening to these people, hearing these arguments, helps to draw attention to their plight.
He took that message to a meeting with the President. It was described as tough and frank. No wonder. Look at the Prime Minister's face at the end. It suggested little had been achieved. This is a day David Cameron will never forget, but the leader of this country is counting on the fact that others will forget and will move on. Nick Robinson, BBC News, Sri Lanka.